I got involved in music, but I didn't get very far because I'm not a good musician like Dave. But we started going to the shows, and there was the people there were all buying the games that we worked on years ago, and I started trying to recollect some of the games that I'd worked on, and it started off as I'll get 10, I'll stop at 10, and then you've got this, and then you bought that console, and so yeah, you get a lot of I follow a lot of retro gaming enthusiasts on Twitter, and so it just came up in my feed, and I'd forgotten. I thought it was actually a fake. I thought, no, what? No, there's another. Somebody's done a knockoff version of Dino Planet. I was no, actually, I remember drawing that. Remember putting that together. So I think the ROMs are obviously all out there somewhere. I don't believe they've all been chucked into a bin, but it depends where the next one's going to pop up and what it's going to be. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah, it's always very nice to see a bit of nostalgia.
But that's the past. We're in a great time now. At what we just released with Playtonic Games, quick plug there, with our ukulele series, and so we're still working together. Playtonic, you working on tunes and they're on and off, aren't you? I did the last 2 video games.
On off, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And it's an exciting time for us because we've started publishing, and all of this stuff. It just comes as a nice surprise when you see a nod to the past. But at the moment, we're just trying to focus on something new, which is our DKC project, which is something we're doing in our spare time. But it's good to talk about the old stuff.
Indeed, and the DK's creations stuff, it obviously stands for Dave and Kev Creations, and it comes from the fact that when we get to visit a lot of shows around the world and talk and visit places, and we've never got anything that was around that we could actually sign.
Yeah.
So it's great when somebody thrusts a Donkey Kong Country cartridge at you and you get to sign it. That's great, but often you find that people actually want to buy something from you as well, and you can't really sell something that belongs to somebody else. We thought, you know what, we just need an IP that actually belongs to us so that we can actually sell an album and sell posters that we can sign, and people will be hopefully very happy with it. And so that's where the idea was born from. So we thought we ought to do something that we've actually created ourselves that we can take ownership of, and if we're at these shows, these retro shows, which are always very nice to go to, always very pleasant, then we can quite happily sell something and not have any sort of comeback from it, really.
We are, of course, talking about Salamandos.
That's right, yes.
And I hesitate to recommend looking up the Salamandos theme song because it does get stuck in my head randomly. So if you're okay with a brain worm, go ahead and do a search on YouTube for the Salamandos theme song. But otherwise, maybe beware because it is a brain worm.
And also going back to the nostalgia thing, it kind of goes in with when Kev was really into his amphibians and doing stuff with that. So we linked it in with that too.
We've performed on stage a few times anyway, messing around music and stuff and just for fun over the years. It's always been a bit of an extra release. And we said a few years ago, we really should try and do something that we can perform on stage and sort of take advantage of bringing graphics and music together. So we said we'll put this project together, and we've got plenty of other ideas, but this one is just at a stage at the minute where it's early days, but we are putting the music together, putting the graphics together, and what we want is to be able to perform it live and give people an episode and just get this story out there and see where it goes. But as I say, we've got other projects as well, which we will have something after Salamandos. But yeah, the T-shirt comes first. You can buy one at dkcreationslimited.com.
It's been quite hard to finish it in COVID as well, because these things are a lot easier to finish when you're actually in the same space as somebody else. But because we're so restricted in how we can, lockdown, I can't actually go to Kev's house and vice versa very easily without breaking lockdown. So And there's only so much you can do online working together. So that's restricted us. But we have made progress. It's just been a little slower than we had anticipated.
No MagFest to perform at this year, unfortunately. So.
No, it's been cancelled, hasn't it, for 2 years, which is a shame. It's a great show, and it's a great event.
It is, and it's kind of the perfect one for your project too.
Yes,
it being about music and games. That
absolutely.
I think that's kind of the perfect place.
I think we had a schedule of quite a few gigs for this year, didn't we?
We did. We had loads of gigs in lots of different countries lined up, and it all got quashed, really, which is a shame. And those people, we're still on hold for the invite, so it's just waiting for COVID, and hopefully flights will come back and they won't be too expensive, and we can go off and do these shows and perform again.
Just gives me more time to make my Salamandos costume.
Indeed. Get the sewing machine out.
Oh, are you going to perform in the Salamandos costume?
Now there's the thought.
like the banana splits.
I was thinking like that Super Bowl performance with where everyone was making fun of Left Shark.
Oh yeah, the foam sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I think we could probably adapt that.
Left Salamando. Well, Kevin, Dave, thank you so much for joining us on the Video Game History Hour. Where can people find more about your work?
There's obviously dkcreationslimited.com, which, as I said, is Dave and Kev Creations.
Yeah, we've got social media and the website. So just dkcreationslimited.com, or just follow at dkcreationslimited on Twitter to get some news. But we'll make some noise soon anyway, so people won't have to look too hard.
Great. And we'll have links to all that in the show description.
Brilliant.
So
thank you.
Check it out. Gentlemen, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for listening to the Video Game History Hour, brought to you by the Video Game History Foundation. If you have questions or comments for the show, you can find us on Twitter at Game History Hour or email us at podcast@gamehistory.org. Did you know that the Video Game History Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit and that all of your contributions are tax deductible? You can support this podcast and all of our other work on Patreon or at gamehistory.org/donate. This episode of the Video Game History Hour was produced by Robin Kunamune and edited by Austin Eller. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.